Well, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. And if you're watching it back, as during the week or whatever, then we thank you for that. We're just here. It's me, RJ, and Tom from Knife Delights, and we're here with your Knife News Roundup. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing just fine. And yourself, RJ?
Hanging in there after
Well,
getting some plumbing work done. I'm good.
well, you're looking fit as a fiddle. That's good. That's good.
Well, that's what my doctor wants to see. So he
Well, I had a lot of people reach out and they were thinking of you and hoping things were going to come out all right for you. And
Yep, everything did. The procedure went perfectly, and I was able to fix up. It was just for you guys that don't know. I had a stent put into my artery, and it was in the left anterior descending artery, which has also been nicknamed the Widowmaker. And it's a Widowmaker, even though the name suggests that it's a male disorder, can happen to women too. And the reason they call it the Widowmaker is that if you have one of these type of coronary events, if you're outside of a hospital setting, you have about a 12% chance to live, depending on how fast you can get medical attention. If you are in a hospital, and this is really kind of the scary part to show you how serious it is. If you're in a hospital, you only have a 25% chance of surviving. So it's a serious deal.
it's a
Uh,
devastating event, that's for sure. Yep.
yes, and that particular artery supplies about half of the blood to your heart. So it's a big deal. So I got this fixed because I have a family history of heart disease, and so I've been staying up on it with a cardiologist, and they were able to determine that I had this issue, and they put that in, so I did not suffer any kind of heart attacks or strokes or any of that other kind of stuff. So it's an important thing, to stay up on your health checks, especially if you have a family history of these kind of disorders. You don't want to let it go.
Well, we sure missed you last week, but
Yeah,
I
I
got
missed
to tell
being
you,
there too.
yeah, Rasputin's Castle stepped in and did just a wonderful job in your steed. So thanks
Yeah, he
again to
did.
Rasputin's Castle.
Yep. Thank you, Mike. I did see the playback of that Knife News Roundup, and you did a great job.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you for stepping in for me. Okay. Well, I guess after National Knife Day and all the Labor Day sales, there has not been a whole lot of sales this week. However, I did find one, and it's actually a pretty good sale. This is, let me bring this up full screen because I actually have one of their knives. If you remember back, this would probably be about a year and a half ago. I did a review on a knife made by Forseti, and this is the knife. This is the Shackleton model, and it's got a beautiful buffalo horn, lots of figure on this side. But they make Damascus blades, and the company is in Utah, and they source basically the best makers. Here's the back spine work on it. I mean, they really do a fantastic job on these knives. They are just absolutely beautiful, uh, and very functional as well. Like I said, this is the Shackleton model, but what their sale is that if you buy two knives at full price, they have blemish knives that are also, you'll get a blemish knife for free. So if you're looking for stuff for Christmas or the holidays, you're going to get multiple people. This is a way to get a couple gifts and to get a free one. They also are having a sale on their blemish knives. Of course, blems happen and they're only in stock until they are gone. But for the month of September, you can get a 30% discount off of their knives using code September 30, SEPT 30. I'll put a link to that and I'll put the code in the description box below. But then you guys will be able to take advantage of that. It's not very often that 30% sales roll around. So if you're interested in a good high quality Damascus knife, and they use 1095, and I can't remember the other steel, but it's a blend of two steels. But they do tell you what they are on the website. They have ones from this little Skinner to great big buoys to kitchen knives to all kinds of stuff. But really a very nice maker and company to do business with. And they do have a warranty on all their knives and stuff, except for the blemished ones, of course. But I don't think any company warranties blems. But that's one that's out there and one that you should check out. If you want to see additional reviews besides mine, Donnie B All Day has done a bunch of reviews on their knives, and he likes them as well. So you can check those out and see him putting them through their paces like Donnie B does. So that's all I got for sales, Tom.
Okay, well, I don't have a sale, but I got a new product release, I guess you would say. And this comes courtesy of knifenews.com. I checked their website, and they're reporting that the Michigan-based custom maker, oh boy, I misspelled a customer. Anyway, Michigan-based custom maker Matthew Gentry has just seen his first production collaboration drop, courtesy of Boker. The Boker Plus, and it's M.U.K. delivers a compact riff on what is perhaps the most famous outdoors knife ever made. And of course, they're calling the Nessmuck. So it's a variation of the Nessmuck. And it comes in 12C27N steel, a 2.4-inch blade. Overall weight is 2.43 ounces. And it has a Kydex sheath and micarta scales. And the MSRP is $40. And I got to tell you, it looks like a pretty cool little knife.
Yeah, and you know who I believe, if my memory serves me right, that Warthog went up and got a knife from him when he was just making knives one at a time. He happened to see a sign that the guy, basically handmade knives or custom knives or something. He went in there and he bought one of his knives.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool. So I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. I think Gentry rang a bell in Michigan. I think that Warthog has a video on that, so you'd have to go search through his back catalog. But that's definitely something that's out there.
So it says it's dropped. I don't know what knife companies might have them in stock yet or not, but that's M.U.K. is the model.
Nice. I'll have to definitely check that out.
Yep.
All right. What should we go into next, Tom?
Well, we always
do some hard news.
Bring up some hard news, some sad news, if you will. But again, this is another reason to support kniferights.org. They're always looking out for our rights. And, well, I'll let you start with the intro of the bad news.
Okay. Well, this is why it's important for us to have Knife Rights as an organization that's looking out for us in America. These are news stories that are happening overseas. And so they don't have all the same laws or protections that we do in America. However, as we all know too well, that there are politicians here in America that are all too ready to sell us out, and they don't care about our rights or what we have or anything, because they're just in it to benefit themselves and their families, and they don't really have anything to do with us. But this is from the BBC, and I'm just going to go ahead and read the story so I don't get anything wrong. But and I'll have a link to this story in the description box. But the public is urged to hand in zombie-style knives ahead of ban. So they are going to have a zombie-style knife ban that is going to happen in the UK. So it says people who currently possess zombie-style knives and machetes are being urged to hand them in to police ahead of a ban coming into force next month. From 24 September, the weapons will be banned under legislation passed by the Conservatives while they were still in power. However, people in England and Wales have from 26 August to 23 September to surrender these items to police stations and claim compensation. So if you do have any of these knives, then they will basically pay you for them if you turn them in before the ban is enacted. So, if you can, get rid of them and then go buy a new knife. That's what I would do. Anyways, Policing Minister Dame Diana Johnson said the ban was the first step in the government's plan to have knife crime in a decade and would be followed by efforts to outlaw ninja swords. So that is, next on the docket is they want to get rid of ninja swords. I don't know how many ninjas are running around the UK, but your days are numbered. Participants in the surrender scheme have been asked to get in touch with their designated police station for advice on how to package up the weapons and bring them in safely. Surrender bins are also available for anyone who wants to remain anonymous. Those who give up their weapons freely during that time period will not be arrested or face prosecution, the government said. But take that for what it's worth. They're the government, after all. Mm-hmm. So what is a zombie knife? I actually have a zombie knife. This is from Rough Rider. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for having this, Tom, but this is a Zombie Nick Trapper. As you can tell, it's a horrible green color. And it has the word zombie on it because it says Zombie Nick. So that's a red flag there. And then it comes with the ever popular saying, "Friends don't let friends eat friends," which is always good advice. But I'm sure that something like this is, really dastardly and would, just not even fall into the realms of fair play. Now, see that those are perfectly fine zombie knives there. So it goes into what is. Yep, those buoys. That's for sure.
These would be legal. These aren't zombie knives?
I don't know. We're going to talk to the definition of a zombie knife here.
Okay, let's talk definitions.
Zombie-style knives and machetes are defined as weapons with blades over 8 inches or 20 centimeters in length that normally have a serrated cutting edge. I don't know. No serrations. It's probably okay. They were added to the government's list of prohibited offensive weapons in 2016. I don't know who was offended, but they are offensive weapons. Police have struggled to deal with knives designed specifically to get around the definition given that year. A loophole meaning the weapons could be kept and sold if they did not have images depicting violence on their handles will be closed when the Offensive Weapons Act comes into effect next month.
No.
So, anything on your handle?
Nothing on my handles.
Okay, you're good. According to the government, anyone found with zombie-style knives and machetes following the ban will face jail time. And this next quote from Dame Diana Johnson should be familiar to anybody who's used to hearing press, releases from Moms Demand Action or any of these Soros-backed groups. And the quote goes like this: "There is no legitimate need for a weapon of this kind to be in our homes or on our streets." And where have we heard that before? That is right out of the playbook of the people that want to basically have a group of sheeple. This is why we will continue to make sure the tightest restrictions are in place to limit the availability of these lethal weapons. So, well, that is that. I just think that unfortunately we have the same exact groups of people here that are, like I said, more than willing to trample all over the rights of people that are not doing bad things.
Yep.
It's the person, not the implement, that is bad.
Well, I can just follow up briefly here in an article on DW written by Ben Knight. The headline reads, "Germany wants to get tough on knife crime with stricter laws." And I got a couple quotes here, if I can read these
Oh,
quotes here.
please.
Again, this is in Germany. Interior Minister Nancy Faeser called for the law to be changed so that only blades of 6 centimeters, 2.36 inches, would be allowed to be carried in public rather than the current 12 centimeters. An exception would be made for household knives in their original packaging. Switchblades would be banned altogether. Now that's something. So I can carry a knife bigger than that, and if I get in trouble, I guess I can take it out of the packaging quick and then use it for defense. I don't.
Probably won't.
And she further stated, knives are used to commit brutal acts of violence that can cause serious injury or death. We need tougher weapons laws and stricter controls. And going on in the article, they talk about weapons-free zones. And if anyone here in the U.S., if this language does not sound familiar, and I'm very careful about talking about tools that have a tube that expels an object out the end of the tube, because
Well, we're going to talk about that later in the show, so it's okay.
Yeah, we can get in
Go
trouble
ahead.
here.
Go ahead and say it, Tom. You can say it. It's not.
Okay.
It's not against the rules to discuss it. They just don't like it when you show it.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's been about 15 years ago, and I first saw one of the news stories happening over in the UK about them wanting to ban knives, and they could only be 2 inches long, and they wanted to start their knife control. And I jokingly said, "Oh boy, here we go, knife control. Are they going to start that here?" Well, they haven't per se here, because we have the Second Amendment. Right now, the focus is on the firearms. However, as we see in a lot of these countries, the first thing they do is they take the firearms away. Once the firearms are away, people are more prone to carry knives than that. So now you have all the quote knife violence, which I hate terms like that.
I do too.
But so we can see the definite correlation here.
Right.
I couldn't help but chuckle, when they talk about usually has serrations on it in the definition of a zombie knife. Well, it's the same problem they have when they try to define a assault weapon, right?
Right.
You try to define it, you're describing everything. There's no way to define it.
The definition of an assault weapon is, what do we want to ban now?
Exactly.
And then it will change. And then
An assault weapon is a made-up term, by the way.
Exactly.
It's a made-up term. So, so they can try to define it any way, but there's ways around it. So, like I said, I got that big knife, but as long as I don't have serrations or an image depicting violence on it, for some reason, that's not as lethal as if it has serrations and a picture of violence on it. That just shows the stupidity of all of this.
I know it is. It's because it's all about control of the people, not about the actual objects or actually doing anything about the crime that's happening. Because it's easy to take like this trapper and say, okay, I can no longer carry this in Germany in public because the blades are 3 1/4 inches. So
Right.
If I can't carry this, does this make anybody more or less safe? No, because criminals by definition don't follow the law anyways.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is you're controlling the law-abiding population in increasing your criminals being able to do whatever they want to do. So.
Right. So it's not illegal to own it. You just can't carry it in public, right? This is the way
that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm a criminal and I'm going to go commit a criminal act with a knife, do you think I'm going to worry about carrying it in public? I mean, I can still own it.
Right. That's what I mean, is that it doesn't affect criminal acts, but that's because to actually do something about humans is very hard, whereas they can just say, look, I banned this, I did something,
Yep.
vote for me next time because
absolutely
I'm not done lining my pockets. That's
right.
That's what it's about. It's a lot of virtue signaling. We've done something. We tried to put a dent in it. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, well, I guess we need to go to some more severe things, because I really don't think. Now I don't know, because I don't follow the news in the UK. I don't know how many sword attacks there have been. Probably not a lot, but I don't know. I don't see that swords are necessarily a problem uh, on the streets in the UK. And I think the good people that live over there, they certainly are not running around with a sword on, anyways.
Right.
'Cause,
Right.
they're busy going to work, doing their thing. They're just regular citizens, just like we are. We just
Yep.
want to do our things, enjoy our life. We're not interested in doing bad things or hurting people, because that's
Yep.
not what we're about. But there are, unfortunately, a subset of people that that's what they do, and
Well, I
there's
guess I would
there's
just
no
like to
easy
remind
answer.
people, I always feel like I'm, chicken little, with the sky is falling type thing, but I get a lot of comments on some of my videos when I discuss, knife laws and this and that. Well, I live in such and such a state and we're a freedom loving state. Thank goodness I can carry anything I want and this and that. Well, that's for now. Do
Right.
not become complacent,
Yes.
because what happens in Europe and then happens in Canada, and then we have some states here that want to follow right along. And
Oh yeah.
when those big states, I hate to say it, California being
Yep.
one of them,
No,
when those
I can
states
tell
start
you,
following,
all about it.
yeah, when they start following, the European law, which they think is the best thing to follow, other states start following along. Do not
Right.
become complacent just because you can carry it now.
Exactly.
And
And that's the important part about having knife rights. You can tell from the language that they use, that their officials are using. It's the same language you can hear on our nightly newscasts here. Uh, if we don't have an organization that's actually actively fighting for us in the courts at those state capitals to change the bad laws, then it's all too easy for basically people that know nothing about the issue, that know nothing about knives, that don't even carry a knife and don't even care about that kind of stuff. To them, it's really easy. With the stroke of a pen, they can say, okay, we're just going to ban switchblades. You talked about it last week, the switchblade problem that we have in
mhm,
California, which it says that in California you can have a switchblade, but the blade has to be 2.5 inches if
yeah,
you're going to carry it in public. Which I'm going to tell you, that's actually a very handy size. They do
yeah,
work really well, and I like that, a full handle with a small blade. I think we've talked about that before on other fixed blade knives and stuff. Makes it they're actually good knives, but at the same time, it's like, for what you get there, to not be able to carry, say, an automatic Buck 112 or something like that, which is
mhm,
a very handy knife, and not, certainly not scary or whatever. But these are all holdovers from the 1940 and 1950s switchblade laws that
right.
went in effect all across the country. And we're getting those things repealed as we can. And like we said, that was a good thing, because what it's going to do with that, small switchblade thing being upheld by the Ninth Circuit, now it opens the door for it to go to the Supreme Court. And I do believe the Supreme Court will rule in our favor when it gets to that level. The bad part about all these fights, as we know from the firearm side, is it takes time, it takes money, and that's all you can do is try to get, if you have the means to send some money to knife rights, if you have the means to send them to somebody like the Second Amendment Foundation that is also very much connected with knife rights, those attorneys and stuff, they're working for us,
Mhm.
uh, and hopefully we can get a lot of this stuff to go away. It's a bad
And
deal, but
And as I pointed out last week, it's always a problem when you're traveling. It's one thing
yes,
I know my state's knife laws pretty good, and they're not too bad. But
yeah,
I go to the neighboring state of like Illinois, Minnesota, some of those places. you got to try to study and see what their laws are. And then if they don't have state preemption law, that means cities and counties can make their own more
Right.
stricter ordinances. And now you got to, okay, I'm going to this city. So what's this city's knife laws,
Right. And there is
And
a
I know there's a kind of a thought of, well, so what? If they catch me, they catch me. Well, if you get arrested for something like this is, I don't want anyone jammed up because
right.
it's going to cost you a lot of money, even if you're found not guilty or they drop the charges later or what have you. Just the hassle of getting arrested. If they take you to jail, book you in jail. Now you got to come up with bond money, and
Right.
you don't want to go there. You don't
No,
want
you
to
don't.
go there.
But that's where Knife Rights helps us again.
Exactly.
If you go to their app that they have, which is called Legal Blade, and you can pull that up on your phone, if you have a smartphone, it will tell you the knife laws that are in places you're going to visit, the places where you live, and stuff like that. Because, like they say, they don't want to get you jammed up either, and you should be able to have a pocket knife if you want one.
Yep.
It shouldn't be a big deal, but as we know, it is. We just have to stay on the right side of the law and make sure that we don't get jammed up, because you don't want to.
You don't want to get jammed up.
Yeah,
Nope.
you don't want to have to deal with a criminal record or anything, and all the issues that those things bring.
Yep.
So it's always better to be safe wherever you're going to be at. So
You
okay,
bet. Good
enough of
discussion,
the.
RJ. Good discussion.
Yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, enough of the doom and gloom.
Yeah. How about some our most interesting video? Can we move on to something fun?
Well, no, not really. Unfortunately, not for mine this week.
No.
Going back to the firearms side of it, I don't know. I think if you guys follow the gun part of YouTube and stuff, unfortunately, Paul Harrell passed away this week. And he was a fantastic YouTuber. Did I don't know how many years of fantastic long form videos. I mean, he is funny, he's eloquent, and my goodness, was that man a marksman. I mean, he was just, I was envious of his skill level for sure. But
the
he was
knowledge.
actually, oh, go ahead, Tom.
His knowledge.
Yes, he had a lot of knowledge, and he passed it on in a way that you could really enjoy watching the videos. They just they always were very interesting. I won't go into it. I'll put a link to this video, and you can definitely go check out his channel. The good news is that his brothers and his production team, they're going to keep the channel going. They're going to take some time off during this period, obviously, but they're planning on coming back. And his brother had started doing videos the last couple of months or so, because Paul was not in any shape to actually make videos. The name of his video was actually in keeping with his sense of humor. He had filmed this a while back, but it's titled "I'm Dead."
He had a great sense of humor. He'll be missed.
And so
I knew he was.
Oh, go ahead.
I just knew he was in bad shape, but I had not heard that it actually passed.
Yeah, he had pancreatic cancer that migrated. They thought they had gotten it, but it actually migrated into his bones, and so he was. At that point, he knew his time was limited. He just didn't know how much time he would have. So sorry about keeping the downer train going, but we celebrate Paul's life and the contribution that he made to YouTube, to the firearms community, and rest in power, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I have it's not a fun video, but it's an uplifting, heartwarming video.
Oh, there you go.
Before I go before I go to my video of the week, I have a question to pose to our audience.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, that's
if
good.
you would leave a comment, leave an answer in the comments below. But what is your favorite knife pattern? I'm looking to
Yeah.
see. It'll be fun to see if anyone has a favorite knife pattern. I know when I get posed that question, it depends on what pattern I have in my pocket at that time because it changes every time. But
Right. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, please.
if you can, I mean, I know that for all of us, especially as collector knife nut kind of guys, all of them is a good question or good answer to that question. But if you do have a favorite pattern, that would be interesting to know
Mhm.
what you guys like to carry, what you guys use.
So my most interesting video I watched this week was from Kirby Creek Moe, and the title of his video is Buck 110, a story 50 years in the making. And I don't want to give away the plot. I want you to go watch that video. But if anyone's familiar with Kirby Creek, he does a lot of carving. He's extremely handy with a knife, and he just loves the Buck 110. And the story that he provides, 50 years in the making, it's a very nice, heartwarming story. So, again, now we'll put the link down in the
I
description box for that.
I have to tell you, Tom, I'm really shocked that you like a video about buck knives. That just is so out of character for you.
Well, it's not only just about the knife, it's about Mo's skill with that knife.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
And Mo does have skill.
he absolutely
That
does.
is for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of skills, this is kind of fun. I found this book over at the Tractor Supply. It's from Field and Stream called the Total Knife Manual, and it's 141 essential skills and techniques. So this is a bunch of stuff from the editors of Field and Stream, and as you can see, it's a full color book. There went my bookmarks, and now I'll have to find my page again. But they have all kinds of stuff on every kind of knife that you can think, from customs to everything else, and they just tell you a whole bunch of different things that you can do with your knife.
They
As
must.
the Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. They must have had you in mind when they put that together because there's lots of big color pictures in there.
There is, yes. I was known for the funny pages when I was reading the newspapers when those still existed. If you don't know about newspapers, kids, ask your grandparents. Yeah.
Yep.
But the one thing that I liked about it was the editor said that the knife is something that if you are interested in the outdoors, it bridges the gap of everything, from camping to hunting to fishing to just being outdoors. If you want to be outside, a knife is the common tool among all those different, uh, you know, ideas and passions and activities. So it is fun. Anything
Yep.
that talks about man's oldest weapon, and yeah, it's an easy read for sure. Which for my old brain is helpful.
Yep.
When I want to just do stuff. But I've seen some things that are different. They have all kinds of different ways to sharpen a knife, and all kinds of different. Like I said, they talk to a whole bunch of makers, and about different designs of knives and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting, but it's not a hard read. But if it's something, I think having reference materials like that's always good, especially if you have a YouTube channel, gives you ideas and backs up your theories.
Yep. It
On
does.
stuff. If you don't know the answer, you can look on that. So
Yep. That's right. That's right. Yep.
all right. Did you have anything else, Tom, this
Well,
week?
I
Did
have
you want
a channel highlight.
to? Okay.
I'd like to highlight Byron there at Splitting Slices.
Yep.
Um, Folks, go over and check out Splitting Slices. And the reason I wanted to highlight Byron this week is once again, he has really come through. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but here a few weeks ago, I had found an old keen cutter knife. And so I kind of cleaned it up the best I could. I sent it off to John at JO Ventures. He made a sheath for it. and he sent it to Byron. Now Byron's great at woodwork. I think he's a cabinet maker now. But
Yes.
just wonderful woodworking. And not only did he refurbish the wood handle on that knife, but he made a presentation box for that knife.
Oh, nice.
So then after that, it went to Jerry and Big J's knives, and Jerry put one of them hair splitting sharp edges on the knife, and then
Yeah.
it was sent to Ray as a gift.
Oh, nice.
Um, so Byron made that case. He also contacted King Cutter, or I can't remember what their company name is, what they go by now, but anyway, so he's got a bunch of stickers and a bunch of other swag that's going to be going to Ray to go along with that knife. So the point is, folks, Byron is just a wonderful supporter in this community. He organized, when my father passed, he organized the effort to get the Buck 124 honoring my father. He made the presentation box for that. Folks, he's always out there doing stuff for others, thinking of others. So, Byron, I wanted to say thank you so much. And everyone, please check out Splitting Slices.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, the channel I wanted to highlight, he's been around for a while, but I think he probably hasn't gotten all the attention that he needs. And that is Martin over at Steel City Knives. He does a lot of stuff with the knives from Sheffield, a lot of different European knives, American knives, just kind of the gamut. But really, as I think Zen will be okay that I'm going to steal his quote, but Zen Ali said, if you ain't watching his channel, you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about the truth, But go ahead and check him out if you haven't checked him out, and of course we'll have links to these channels in the description box,
Absolutely.
so you guys can find them and go show them some love.
Yep.
All right, Tom. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to go over this week?
Well, I guess just to wrap things up, a little bit of a channel update. Of course, I've still got this giveaway in the works.
Mm-hmm.
The next couple days here, I'm going to be drawing the name. We're doing this giveaway to support Ribideau Creek. So if you haven't seen my video, go to my channel, watch that video on how to enter. There's going to be another day or two. I don't have a specific date. It just depends on my schedule, but
Right.
here in the next couple days, I'll be drawing for this knife, and this is a wonderful knife. This
There, I'll
Camillus Jumbo.
bring you up
Okay.
full screen so you can show that off again.
This Camillus Jumbo Trapper. And again, I encourage everybody. I'll send a link to RJ so everyone can get the link to watch the video and follow the instructions. I have instructions in there. It's a little more complicated than a normal giveaway, but it's worth it, worth the effort. And we want to support Ribideau Creek on this giveaway. And Mountain Ajar need to mention him. He's the one that sent this knife for the giveaway. So the purpose of all of this is to help our knife community grow.
Absolutely.
And I've been working on a video on this, and I'm not having a lot of luck. But this is one of the Camillus utility knives, and
Yes.
and I'm trying to answer the question: was this made for the civilian market? Was this military issue? And I'm having a lot of problem in my research, RJ, because I keep getting conflicting information. But
I think you probably will.
yeah,
I mean, I remember seeing those knives when I was in the service. Certain jobs they were able to get them. Recently read kind of I guess it was more of a memoir, and a guy was saying that when he was in the service in the 60s, he was a combat engineer. They told him, did you get a knife? And he says, no, I didn't. And they said, go down to the supply and get yourself a knife. So he went down there, and they said, well, you want one of these? And they held up a TL-29. He says, if you don't like these, I got a bunch of these. And he held up one of those Camillus knives like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was very familiar with scout knives and stuff. And he said, oh yeah, I'll take the scout knife.
Yep.
That it was what he was familiar with. And he thought that would be an excellent knife, and it served him well until he got one of those 3-bladed specials from Buck, those 301s, he switched to that and never looked back, so
Smart man.
I thought you might like that part of the story.
Well, I've got a lot of projects in the works. It's just time.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You can define it all down to time and money. That's all it is. All right. Well, I don't really have any channel updates. We did have a winner for my drawing, which was Old Fart Knives, and please forgive me, Old Fart, because this Old Fart's been behind on my shipping, and I need to ship out a bunch of stuff. And if I don't get to it by the end of this week, I'll definitely get. Well, of course, we're recording this towards the end of our week. I'll try to get it out by the weekend. If not, it'll be out next week. But I'll send you the shipping info, anyways. So that stuff's coming out. Just forgive me. I've been a little busy myself.
Yep.
And that wraps it up, I think, for another week, Tom.
Yep, you bet. Thanks to all the viewers and all your supporting comments. Please leave us a comment on how we can improve the show, or if there's something that you'd like us to discuss here on the show. We do really appreciate your feedback.
Yep, absolutely, because we want to bring you stuff that's interesting to you. So leaving comments and letting us know if we're doing the right thing or go in a different direction that would make you guys happier, it's all good. All right. Well, I guess that'll end up this Knife News Roundup, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good week and enjoy yourselves.